Hello and welcome to the Mal and Johnny Show. Well, we're both a little bit under the weather. It's got nothing to do with me celebrating being number one in the Heritage Chart. It's got everything to do with having man flu. And you, Johnny, a little bit hoarse from all the rehearsals. Big show coming up.
Well, yeah, I got to get the voice in trim for Frankie because he did so many hits. I mean, he had 30 chart entries. I'm singing 22.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Because the thing is, it is like any muscle. Yeah, you've got to, you get the dancing. I know you do the dancing regularly to keep your legs and everything, your hips and everything in place. Yeah. But, I mean, the vocal cords. So, where have you been singing? Out loud in the garage?
Yeah, well, on the garage. No, I've got a little studio at the back of my house. It's like when you come here, you'll see it. It's like it looks like a bunker, really, but it's soundproof, and I can shout and sing and put all the music on. So I got all the backing tracks in there.
Yes.
And then Alwyn and I are going through the dialogue, knowing the cues when the next song comes in.
Right.
And then I press the button, and off we go.
Wow.
Yeah, but you say it's like a muscle. When I was a kid, my old man, he was clever. He said, "Look, John," he said, "you've got to go and have some singing lessons." And me being a kid, I said, "What do you mean?
Don't need singing lessons.
Never had singing lessons.
Yeah,
you just sing, you know."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm telling you, you'll last if you get singing." And he sent me to an opera singer who taught me how to place my voice. Consequently, you don't sing through your throat, thing that you put it up there when you need to. So, and it's helped me all these years. So, but when you sing a lot, you will get hoarse. So I'm going to take it easy, go through them every day, and then have a couple of days off, and then do it again, and so on.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's like with my fingers. Now, this is the left hand of my finger, and playing guitar. You know, now I did a lot of playing about a month or so ago, and the tips of your fingers get really hard, which is good because they get really sore. But you can't fatten a pig on market day, Johnny Tudor.
That's right.
You have to do the hours to get the skin hard to get your voice in shape, but not overdo it. Not overdo it. You're right.
That's right. That's a good phrase. What did you say about a pig?
You can't fatten a pig on market day.
That's right. Just very much like there was an old entertainer my old man knew called Ike Hatch. I mean, he was ancient.
Yeah.
American he was.
Yeah.
And I met him once in London with my father. He says, "Hey man, you gotta get yourself ready." So he said, if you don't get those, if you ain't got your gun, you can't shoot them birdies.
Right, you better be prepared.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, better be prepared. So 22 songs. I mean, what the big hits? What are the big ones that everybody's going to love about the show?
Right, you got "Give Me the Moonlight," obviously. You've got "Tower of Strength," which was written by Bacharach.
Oh.
And then you've got "Garden of Eden." You've got "Money in the Bank," Frank. You've got what's the other one? I've just sung them all. There's "Wandering Eyes." Wandering Eyes, she got beautiful eyes. You had all these hits. I mean, one after the other, you know.
Now, what about the words? Are the words ingrained? Are the words ingrained in there, or have you got to learn them again?
The words are in. No, the words are in there. There's just a couple of songs in the second half I got to really work out because I haven't sung them for such a long time. So I've got to, play them over and over, just make sure I don't make any mistakes. Green Door, of course, was a big one, number 2.
Oh, right.
But he gave all his royalties to the Boys Club from Green Door. Every royalty.
Isn't that amazing? Because he
was an amazing bloke, guy.
He owed his life to them,
what he was a bit of a tearaway as a kid, see. And anyway, the Boys Clubs more or less saved him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he never forgot it. And then he was I think it was Glasgow, there was some gang warfare broke out, and he went and mediated. I mean, he was one of those, he said, the youth, you got to make sure they go on the right path and this and the other.
Yeah.
No, he was a lovely bloke, Frank, and he came from nothing really, poor Jewish family.
Wow. So just thinking about that, getting the words right, because I know a lot of artists, heritage artists. We'll talk about heritages maybe in a little while. But if they can't remember their words, they have a screen instead of like a monitor. They got sound monitors which face you on the stage.
Like a karaoke.
They've got karaoke for their own words.
Do you know what? Andy Williams used to do that years ago.
Really?
He could never remember his songs, and he used to have the idiot boards up, as we used to call them in the old days. Idiot boards. I used to do that when I did Disc It Out because I couldn't understand what I was singing about. So I used to have them written up.
That's right. If you look at the, like that, you look at the camera and you're going, if you're talking about that, I'd say you'd start talking. Yeah. So there
hey, look, tell me about this heritage.
Oh, chat. Please, are you sure?
How does it work?
How does it work? Well, Mike Reed. Now, Mike Reed obviously was the Radio 1 breakfast disc jockey. Him, He was also, he did all the Guinness Book of Hit records with Tim Rice and who's the other guy? Oh, Paul Gammaccini. So for years, he, pop quiz, all this type of thing, swap shop. Yeah. But like musicians, like entertainers, he found that as he got a little bit older, some of those jobs disappeared and didn't come back. But he's incredibly motivated. He's a man of mature years, and he realised about maybe 3 or 4 years ago that there were a lot of artists who've been making records for more than say 20 years. Their heyday, and they weren't getting played, and didn't have anywhere to champion their new music. So he thought, well, I'll set up a heritage chart. And although he doesn't broadcast on BBC Radio 1 anymore, there are a plethora of independent radio stations, community stations, international stations, internet stations, that need content. And because Mike's such a big name, he's managed to syndicate his heritage chart program as well as a couple of other programs. And it goes all around the world. So what he does is he as new songs come out, he adds them to the playlist. And then everybody from all around the world gets a chance to vote for their favourite record. Now, I'm not quite sure if it's weighted by plays as well. But obviously the more... But
when you say voted, do they actually download them? Do you get anything for it?
No, you just get it. So it gets played on the Heritage Chart show on those hundreds of stations. It gets put into... I can't remember how many newspapers around the world take the Heritage Chart, the actual chart itself, and print that. Which is lovely because it's number one. It's it's getting that publicity.
So if somebody sees your thing, we'll say in Oklahoma, they can go in and download it off the internet.
Do you know what? Now then, so I got a message from somebody yesterday from Australia. Now was it? There's so many different ways of looking at this thing. I mean, it might have been LinkedIn. Anyway, basically a young lad from Australia. He works in the gaming industry, like in slot machines and stuff. He had come across it on the Heritage Chart show, found the music on Spotify, and has now downloaded all of my music. So it really has built. Every time it gets into a chart, I'm not doing I'm not very well, Johnny. I don't.
No, you look like you got a bit of a cold. Are you sure it's not the old COVID?
No, I don't know.
Who knows? How do you feel?
I could do with 2 weeks off.
We can't do that.
Can't do that.
The show must go on.
So every time the record, because it happened, I didn't know about the chart until a record that I made with Steve Baltimore. Oh, the one you sang on the video, A Little Town of Bethlehem.
Oh, the one for Christmas.
Suddenly that appeared in the Heritage Chart. Started getting lots of messages from people saying, congratulations, love the new records in the Heritage Chart. So we've had about half a dozen since. And every time that the record gets in the chart, suddenly all these emails and playlists and things happen. And and it's not just me, it's people like Peter Cox from Go West. In the chart at the moment, I always say the only person I've never heard of is me. It's got Boomtown Rats. It's got Noel Gallagher. It's got Graham Nash from the Hollies and Alan Clark from the Hollies. Both got separate records.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, you see, the BBC, they're ageist. I mean, they wouldn't play Cliff Richard's records. This is a guy who's had 100 hits. Yeah. I mean, and they weren't playing them. Yeah. Not even on Radio 2.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Amazing. I don't understand it. If a song's a good song, play it.
Exactly.
They don't play Frankie's songs.
No, and
And how often do you hear a Sinatra song or any of them? I mean, you got to go to a special, particular or type of program to get it.
Yeah,
there used to be a program on a Sunday. It was Michael Black's brother, Don Black. He wrote all the hits, millions of hits, and he used to have a nice show. And he used to put lots of standards on and things and talk about the different performers. But there's nothing like that now. They took it off.
But the interesting thing is, I'm not sure if you know, I'm a professor at the University of Wales, Trinity St David. Did you know that?
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
Professor Pope.
I thought you had a gardening degree.
Well, as part of the deal, right? Part of the deal, I go in and speak to the students on media and music and radio stuff. So I went into this room, and there weren't that many kids. Oh, I'm a bit scruffy today. I'm so sorry. It's just like
you could have dressed up for me.
I'm not very well. I'm not very well, Johnny. Anyway, I don't talk about it all the time because it's not about me. Anyway, I walked into the room, and the first question, it was a radio module, and I said, right then, what radio stations do you listen to? And none of them did. None of them listen to radio. They don't listen to radio anymore.
It's all Spotify, is it?
Spotify, podcasts. It's very, very genre driven. So they don't need to go to the radio anymore. Which I think, in many ways, there's this thing in radio, always chasing the younger audience. Well, the thing is,
you won't catch them.
No, you won't catch them, and I'm not sure if they're going to get in the habit that we had. I mean, I remember my dad's little Russian transistor radio. He bought it from the Daily Express. It was that I nicked it and it was beside my bed all my growing up. You listened
to Radio Luxembourg, did you?
Radio Luxembourg at night, Radio 1 in the morning.
Radio Caroline.
Yeah, all of them. And it's like kids have got out. They don't need to because they don't watch TV anymore. They do watch television programs, but they don't watch TV. They watch iPlayer.
They don't read newspapers.
They don't. Kids these days.
I don't know. What would you do with them? You can't live with them, can't shoot them. You know what I mean?
So yeah, no, it is interesting. But the Heritage Chart has been a real boon for people like me, and I'm just feeling a little bit guilty now because when you get into it, you put out on social media your record's out, and would you like to vote for it? If you like it, please give it a vote. But of course, I've been number one now. I'm thinking, is it selfish to keep on putting those messages out? Should I just say, well, I've had my turn, vote for somebody else? But
no, you got to make another one. You make one every week anyway.
But it's a great start. It's my first number one.
Very good.
And this year, it's a big year because it's the 50th. I mean, I've booked you already for the big 50th gig on the 3rd of October.
I got the tap shoes polished already, but I'm ready.
Yeah, lovely. And I've stuck some segs into the bottom of my shoes. I put some metal. Like I've got a couple, and so I can do a bit.
The last time I sang and danced at the Grand was with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Hey,
you can try and get it.
I'm saying there's a lot of special guests. I'm not saying Catherine Zeta-Jones is there. I'm not saying she is there, but I'm not saying she's not there.
Oh yeah.
You never know. That's
what I said.
Johnny says.
Hey, Johnny wants you on the bill.
But I've got a lot of things because it's a golden jubilee and it lasts from now really until October the 2nd next year. It goes all.
See, I never thought of doing that when I was 50 years in show business. I've been in it for about
100 years, 120
First
years.
Professional summer season was 1963, so it's 60 years, isn't it?
You should be doing it as well, man.
Well, what's the point?
What's the 60th?
60 years in the business.
What's that? It's a platinum. That's platinum jubilee. That's like you're the queen. You're the queen of tap dancing. Is it 60? It's a lot anyway. That's brilliant.
It's like 63, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, it's 60 years.
And where was the gig? Where was it and when was it?
It was Butlins in Skegness. I did the summer season there. And it was like they used to have resident reviews in those days.
Yeah.
So they'd have a show. We used to do 3 different performances a week, different songs, different sketches and all that, because the people there for a week, they could come and see the show 3 times, see? But they had lovely theatres, Butlins, proper theatres.
Yeah, yeah.
And the one in Skegness, it was wonderful. It was a beautiful, really raked stage and a raked audience. It was lovely.
Wow.
And then they used to have big stars coming in on a weekend. I remember when I was in Skegness, I was a bit in all of the Sunday concerts, and Stan came in to do one, and he flew in his aeroplane. Right? He flew in his aeroplane. Go on,
sorry. I turned the volume down. It's not very nice sound. Stan in his aeroplane.
So Stan, because every Butlins camp had a little airstrip because they used to take people up for pleasure trips, see? And Stan would just fly in. He'd fly into Skeggy, he'd do the Sunday concert, and he'd fly back to Cardiff. Next day, he'd fly up to Edinburgh. Oh, no, there was one in Ayr, Scotland. He'd fly up there. He said it was as cheap as driving his car, and he was there in 2 hours.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I used to go and watch him, and I'd be over ordering because I knew him as a kid because he knew my father, but he didn't really know me at that time.
Yes.
He remembers me as a kid.
Yeah. And
it wasn't until when I worked with him first, it was 1969, when we did the panto in the Grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's your. I think it's platinum. What was the Queen? Was that 60 years as a Queen, or was that 70 years? Anyway, it's a big year for you, Johnny, as well.
Yeah, you can announce it on your bill.
60 years in the
Johnny Tudor
business.
and his 60 years in show business will now dance and sing for you.
He'll juggle. He'll tell jokes.
He'll tell jokes. Yeah. He rides a unicycle.
And I'll walk to the side of the stage and say, Johnny, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
Tough crowd. You're going to die.
You're gonna die.
All right, well, look, I'm going to go back to bed now. I'm going to have
you don't? Have you got any paracetamol?
No, the paracetamol.
Take some paracetamol.
Paracetamol.
Get a hot toddy with a little bit of whiskey in it.
Whiskey.
As the doctor once told me, of all the things that don't work for colds, Scotch is the best.
I love it. Yeah, no, I just I'm fine. I'm not one to moan. You know that it's not about me. But if you do want to vote for me, there it is, Charles. do follow all the links.
I'm always clicking on it. I clicked on it today.
Did you? Ah, good man. I'd like to thank my agent. I'd like to thank Johnny Tudor. I'd like to thank all my fans.
But you've got to make some money out of this. When they should download it, they have to pay 75p every time they download it.
I'm a generous soul, to be honest, Johnny. As long as they buy tickets for the Grand Theatre, I don't mind. You know,
yeah, but they can't from Australia when they're living over there.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Okay.
Anyhow, you have a good sleep.
Hey, lovely to see you. And I hope the rehearsals, hope the voice goes well. Hope the legs hold it.
Yeah, I'm going to have a cup of tea now with a little bit of honey in it and you take it easy.
And the gig? When is it?
Me. What?
When's the gig again? Tell everybody.
When? No, the 9th of May. 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Dennis Powys he said Festival Hall. The hall in Dennis Powys.
Great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, book your tickets now. It's goodbye from
to avoid disappointment.
To avoid disappointment. They're going fast. They always say they're going fast. I got a theatre full of tickets, but they're going very fast. Lovely to see you, Johnny. Have a great day and hope it all works out. See you soon.
All right,
God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.